Here is why Turkish sense of guilt keeps them honest, and why you actually may be more safe in Turkey for property crime than most places in Western Europe. Hello and welcome back to Traveling Reports. Today I wanted to go over why Turks are realistically very honest and how that's dictated by culture, and realistically why things tend to not escalate to property crime all that frequently. Now, of course, Turkey is a very family-oriented country, and for many, they despise the people that are stealing. They despise the people that spend their time moping about, and I can't say I blame them either. However, to get into sort of an anecdote, recently I was in Istanbul, Turkey. I'm still in Istanbul, Turkey, and I was walking to Galata Tower, and at a intersection, I go to run from a driver that was right on my behind, basically. So essentially, I was trying to get out of the way of the driver as he was not able to understand the word stop, and he didn't know what right of way meant, which of course I'll go over Turkish driving habits as Turkish rules of the road, which to be honest are non-existent. So the 50 lira that I had that dropped was, wasn't that much, right? 50 lira is now about $1.25, $1.20. And so I dropped the lira, and there's a Turk that picks it up, and I'm walking maybe 2 blocks, 3 blocks towards a light. He runs to me 2-3 blocks and hands me the bill, right? The 50 lira bill. And says, Abi, you dropped. Abi being older brother. It's a sign of respect, right? And then just walks away. He doesn't expect a thank you. He doesn't expect anything, right? For me to give him, right? He just does it because he believes that he should. This is something that's apparently very common in Turkey, as there is this concept of what if it is his last 50 lira? He needs that 50 lira. And so invariably you get a very interesting dynamic where 50 lira is given back when it's not that much money. People spend 50 lira on 2 simit. However, they will still go out of their way, right, to make sure you are safe, make sure you get the money that was rightfully yours. And it has to do also with the Turkish concept of not taking money that you didn't earn, or clean money, right? And so a lot of Turks believe in the concept of clean money. They believe that they should only derive their gains from money they believe they earned through either service or a business or whatever else. And this is why I believe Turks are great employees. They are extremely industrious employees. They love to earn and then give back. And this is something that not a lot of cultures have retained, right? When I was working in the US, I would sometimes drop $20, which is a lot more than 50 lira. It would be often that people in the US would just keep it, right? We have the concept of finders keepers, and that's actually a law, right? Finders keepers laws. But of course, with finders keepers laws, you have massive amounts of people who would just never give back, right, the money, and never worry about giving you your money back. But in Turkey, it is seen as a powerful move and a righteous move, a moral move, to give back the money that they perceive to not be theirs, that they perceive to be yours, right? And this is something that I find to be incredibly good. I find it to be incredibly rewarding for the Turk, but also for the people that live in Turkey, you won't have as much issues. However, of course, the government will still tax you at every single point. And there is a joke within Turkey that the government takes, the people give. And this is true, I feel, on every level from what I've seen. And even with me trying to get rid of my monitor to lighten my load, right? I am constantly at odds with Turkish law, and I'm constantly at odds with how the realities, right, of Turkish law work. And so I can't just throw out the monitor, right? Even if I wanted to, I cannot do that because they would fine me for e-waste recycling, which is ridiculous. And realistically, I should just sell it. But it's also hard to find a computer shop that will accept a monitor. And so you're kind of in a catch-22 in a lot of these cases. But of course, at the end of the day, I believe that Turks are very honest, and they believe that they should be honest. And this is something that's unique to Turkey as in a lot of societies, right? Sure, they might be honest with, thousands of dollars because it's hard to deposit thousands of dollars in your account without tripping AML and questions about where you found it and so forth. But if you are someone that, of course, values honesty and values peace, right? I'm not going to say that they're the most honest society. They do have some issues, as with any society, but they are a very honest people group. And I hope that if you do visit, which right now I wouldn't really recommend it, maybe wait until things die down more, but if you visit, you will see and you will be able to understand that Turks are very honest people and they want to help. And so, of course, if you need one-on-one consulting on how to engage in Turkish society, if you are looking for consulting in that area, feel free to reach out on the Calendly link down below. We can set up a call one-on-one absolutely free for 15 minutes. That said, if you liked the video, feel free to like it. If you really liked the video, feel free to share. If you are looking to join me on this globalization and internationalization journey, feel free to subscribe. This has been the Traveling Report, signing off.